I thought I would read a quote from John Donahue to start, and he says, "May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, to do at last what I came here to do, and waste my heart on fear no more." As we embrace a new year, I thought it might be poignant to talk about the topic of forgiveness. It's not an easy topic. But to forgive another is an act of love. It's an act of healing, our healing. And forgiveness is ultimately a choice. For some, it can take a lifetime, especially for people who are caught in a vortex of anger and resentment. I'm not trying for a moment to suggest that it's easy to forgive those who have hurt us. But my overwhelming experience as a therapist for so many years is that in the long run, those who are unwilling to forgive remain victims long after the pain is over. Even the intention to forgive, just the intention, guides us through fear to a place of peace, actually, and relief. But I'd like to say a few words about what forgiveness is not. We can't automatically forgive and forget. Dr. Renee Fredrickson says that insisting that people forgive is part of an offender-oriented society, and I agree. In fact, she puts it rather crassly when she said that to tell people to forgive and forget is like kicking kitty litter over something that stinks. There is a phenomena that's pretty destructive, I think, and that's called cheap forgiveness. It's unauthentic forgiveness. It's folks that do not want to deal with the pain, so they just wipe it aside. Inevitably, that hurts us and people around us because our resentment starts to leak out. And sometimes cheap forgiveness is little more than a cover for contempt. The unwillingness to forgive, to hold on to resentment, is so painful and destructive. Some of us know people who carry the corpse of a spoiled relationship around on their shoulders indefinitely. Many have heard the statement that resentment is poison we drink, hoping someone else will die. It's forgiveness is an act of letting go. Again, not easy. But if anger is an issue, I invite you to look at the fact that anger and grief are inexorably connected. Some of us would prefer anger rather than the anguish of grief. So please understand that the subject you forgive or the person you forgive may not necessarily want or need your forgiveness. And if we're waiting for someone to really get it, we might be waiting until the grave. Of course, the most difficult one to forgive is ourselves. And the more recovery we have, the more acutely we feel the pain we've caused. I work with too many people who can't look into a mirror and say, what I see makes me glad to be alive. This takes time, it takes patience. We know it takes so much time to deal with the harsh judge that's lurking in our hearts. The first step is to be honest with ourselves. Then we begin transforming shame into guilt. Shame meaning, I'm a mistake, I'm rotten. Guilt means I made a mistake. Part of the beauty of the 12-step program is the first step doesn't say we're rotten. It says we were powerless over our behavior. We must look at ourselves with compassion, not to condone what we've done, but to treat ourselves the way we would treat our best friend. No addict can shame their way into recovery. So remember, every detour we've taken is valuable when we learn from it. And I'd like to end with a poem by Persia Gertlin called The Healing Time. And she says, finally, on my way to yes, I bump into all the places where I said no to my life. All the untended wounds, the red and purple scars, the hieroglyphs of pain carved into my skin, my bones. Those coded messages that send me down the wrong street again and again and again, where I find them, the old wounds, the old misdirections, and I lift them one by one close to my heart, and I say, holy, holy. Until next time.